The wife suddenly sees the husband is acting off today. It seems the wife did something to upset him. The wife is pushed to the table, yet he has no intention of letting her go. He even lifts her onto the table. Then he looks down and says 3 words, "I must confirm something today." Before the wife can react, the husband lifts her skirt. But this makes the husband angrier. The wife is so regretful now. Little did she know, men are not to be trifled with. Remember, her husband is a presidential spokesman. His status is incredibly high. She tied herself to him and signed a marriage contract. Not sure if it's because she's mute. The husband opts to hide her identity, and this marriage lasted 3 years. But that night, everything changed. Not sure if it was due to the rainy weather. The car suddenly goes out of control. But this dog caused a problem. Because she noticed someone quickly approaching her car, she meant to get out, but it was too late. The person had already entered her car. Soon, her husband received a call. But the next second, his phone died. So he charged his phone. He quickly called his mother-in-law to check if his wife had returned from her mother's house. When he learned she left early that afternoon, he did not tell his mother-in-law about the call. Instead, he had his men trace the phone number. He replied without restraint, "I really have no time to negotiate. You see the news. I am extremely busy." As expected, the kidnapper suggested paying for your wife's safety. The husband sent her 3 words again. "Next time, just call to inform me when you collect the money. I don't have a dime for ransom." The kidnapper blew up. Just then, the husband had an urgent meeting. The phone was ringing off the hook, but no one answered. The kidnapper was going nuts in the car, and the wife felt cold to the bone. This left the kidnapper stunned. The mute bride actually speaks. She even ordered him to call that jerk again. She frantically snatched the kidnapper's phone and redialed, but the call never connected. The impact happened to save her from disaster. The seatbelt really is a lifesaver. She intended to use this phone to ruin her husband. This phone had its voice altered in post-production. Suddenly, she heard her husband returning. Crying, she quickly concealed the phone. He only wanted to verify the call from today. Whether his wife had really been kidnapped. At that moment, the wife was in a daze. She recalled cursing her husband in the car. Sure enough, her husband was searching the dashcam. He confronted her about why the dashcam was missing. She simply told him the car had issues and was at the shop. Seeing that his wife wasn't sharing about the kidnapper, instead, he had his men investigate the source of that call. He learned they couldn't trace it. They needed the call to last 10 minutes to trace the Unbeknownst to them, the wife overheard their talk. Thus, the wife became bolder. She texted her husband, acting like a kidnapper, but she regretted it after sending. "This is a recipe for disaster." Sure enough, her husband was furious.